All right, Virgo. So this is part two. Thank you for tuning back in. Yeah, I ran out of time, y'all. Okay, so forgive me. But go back to part one again, like I said, to catch up because I'm not going to recap that one. But when I left off at, I can say I was saying to forgive yourself, right? To let go of the past story and to choose to see what's still here, what's still real, and what's still worth loving. Okay, Virgo, this is like I said, your gentle reminder that you're not behind. All right, you're not broken. You're in this. It's like you're in this sacred pause, and I've been talking about this for months now. Okay, especially with the twin flame reading. So if you are a twin flame, definitely you gotta check out my twin flame readings. Okay, but it's like you're in this sacred pause before your next becoming. So you're rising, right? Um, you might can't see it, but it's happening. So I wanted to pull from the African Goddess Guidebook next. Give me a message to correlate with this spread. Joy, right? So we already know about that joy factor. It's like you got to keep vibrating on that frequency of joy here and of love, because love is the highest vibration of all. But your happiness, literally, it matters. I know it's like when it comes to other people and their happiness, like we gung ho on making sure they good, right? But we tend to neglect our own happiness in the process. But what Spirit is saying is like, your happiness matters. Your joy is sacred. Your laughter waters the earth. Like you need to have those things too. You deserve to be happy. It is safe for you to feel good. So allow yourself to feel joy with no limits. And sometimes within these situations, it causes you to limit your own joy. Okay, this is a part of self-love as well. And it says your happiness doesn't need to look like anyone else's. If you can't imagine it, you won't be able to live it. So this is a declaration. Start to speak, I feel like me when I'm happy, right? Because you deserve to be happy too. It's saying, it's a giggle therapy break. Close your eyes and see yourself joy filled. Now laugh with your mouth and your eyes wide open. Try it to release feel good endorphins. Okay, Virgo, you've been stifling your happiness for way too long, just for the sake of other people's happiness. And I get it because I've done that myself. I've been married, like, I don't even remember. It's been like, I've been divorced for like 8 years. I've been married about 10. And I was with that same person since I was 17. I went to high school with them, known them since I was 13. 303 on the time. Pay attention to the synchronicities. But however, that's what I did. I found myself always trying to do everything to make this person happy, and I will put my own happiness to the side just so that they could be fulfilled, because it always felt like, and that was a me thing, because I dealt with a lot of trauma from childhood, a lot of trauma within that relationship. So it was a lot that I lost within myself, within that relationship. Okay, so again, mentally, physically, emotionally, verbally, whatever, abusive. And so I did it because it's like, okay, what do I gotta do to make myself worthy of this person, right? So I started to sacrifice my happiness, thinking that that would make them happy with me. Okay, and no, that don't work, right? I'm older now, I'm grown. You understand? Like, I'm healing, and I have learned a lot, right? That journey, you know, that's been a journey, okay? But however, I would think that I was broken. Something doesn't want me to tell my story, so let me drink to that. But yeah, I would, it's hard to realize, when you go through so much abuse, who you are, and to remember that. And when we go into that people pleasing energy, or whatever the story is that you may have, it has a lot to do with childhood. And a lot of times, as much as we hate to admit it, we have some trauma from our parents, and I'm forgiven because of the simple fact that I know my mom had me at 16. My mom was a kid, pretty much herself. So everything that she been through or went through, especially with my dad, they were kids themselves. So I'm not unforgiving of that, because I do understand, trying to raise a child and you're broken yourself and you got trauma yourself is not easy. So you're not going to make the best choices, especially when it's your first kid. Okay. So, but I do know, even with me saying that there has been a lot of trauma within my immediate family. Okay. And so this is why we're going through everything that we go through now, that we've moved on from childhood. However, and when it comes to our healing journey, while we got to go through all of these steps, is necessary, right? Because all of us, it seems like everyone that has gone through the darkness, I mean, talking about been dragged through the darkness, are the light workers, And so we had to go through that. We have to go through this process now. We have to heal. We have to remember who we are. We have to come into our becoming, because we are the ones that are going to help other people to do that. We are going to be the ones that's going to help bring the next generation out of the darkness. You understand? Or bring other light workers into their positions. You feel me? Just like we, or even myself, have evolved into this position of leadership, right? It's like it's a part of the process. This is what we're called to do. And because we're called to do these things, our angelic guides, our ancestors, spirit, however it resonates for you, is not going to let up until it gets done. Okay? Because it's a part of our soul contract. And being, and me saying all this again, I feel like, you guys are very ready. You got all the tools. You've been through everything you need to do to evolve. Okay? I know it's still a whole lot more to the journey, but you're at the point now in your story where Spirit is saying you are ready. Okay? You're ready. And it's still something beautiful that's waiting to be noticed. Tell me about that. Your joy. Yeah, Ten of Cups reverse. Especially when it comes to your emotional stability, when it comes to family, when it comes to love. And with that Ten of Cups reverse coming out, I know it's like, what the hell, right? What the hell are you? But it may not be the ideal you once imagined, okay? But it's still real, it's still healing, and it's still worthy of love, okay? Virgo, it's definitely time. It's time to gently let go of what did not turn out the way you hoped for. And that's just what it is. When it comes down to your family dynamic, or love or relationship, right? We're still trying to recreate that. We're still trying to fix that. And the Five of Cups literally shows that you are still mourning something, a loss, a disappointment, a vision of how things should have been. But clarifying that is what I'm pulling, right, with the Ten of Cups reverse. I was trying to figure out where my Five of Cups was at, but I put it back in the deck, y'all. But it's like so the happily ever after that you are chasing might be the illusion, or it's someone else's idea of happiness. It doesn't mean your dream is gone. It just means it's shifting into something more authentic. And what I feel like for some of you, it's not someone else's idea. It may be based off an illusion, okay? That you may it's still possible for you, even if it doesn't look picture perfect, okay? And I get it, all right, Virgo, but however, Spirit is asking you to redefine, okay, what family, what love, and what does this look like for you? Like I said, it doesn't mean you can't have it, all right, but it's possible. But it's now time for you to open your eyes and kind of see it in a different light, and regroup and pause for a moment, and to forgive yourself and to release what did not work out, because it's still something waiting for you that's even better, Virgo. All right, y'all, hit the like button. Peace.